Okay. All right, Miss Janet, we're going to talk about you, okay? But what I have written here, I just have to say one little thing.
Hey, can I
is-
dive in one sec for
Yes.
manage expectations?
Yes.
We're going to spotlight some of the outstanding outgoing board members. There's also,
Yeah. Only some of us are outstanding.
but you'll see that it will be all of them. And then at the conclusion of this, there's a gift and a bell. And then we're going to get those at the end, and we're going to get a picture at the end. Okay? So, right? Okay. Managing. Yes.
Okay. So, Miss Janet, I just wanted to say something about Miss Janet before I read what was written here. That I served on the charter board and served on the state board to sit there, and we used to have dinners together, and Miss Janet made me feel like I was the cat's meow, and she didn't even know who I was, and I'm so grateful for her being so kind to me.
One more thing. One more quick thing. So after this statement's shared, then board member, you get to have an opportunity to say a few words, okay? So there's a
Did you
speaking
hear that,
opportunity.
Janet?
Okay.
Okay, Janet Cannon. First elected in 1994, Janet has served multiple terms on the board for a total of 22 years. While serving as vice chair for the board for 7 years, she developed and wrote its bylaws. She also developed a process for the state board to receive more public input. Also, she wrote the first bylaws for the state charter school board and developed and implemented the board's first new board member training manual. Janet worked in PTA on a local, regional, and state levels. Janet and her husband, Jeff, are parents of 3 beautiful girls and 2 handsome boys, all products of the Utah Public Schools. As a mother of 1 intellectually gifted and at the same time learning disabled child, Janet has continually advocated for improvements within our system of public education. Janet was twice elected area director over the Western States in NASB and the National Association of School Boards of Education. In 2006, she received their National Award for Distinguished Leadership and Service. She currently serves as immediate past chair, having led this national organization of state school boards completely dedicated to America's children and public education. She has served on the State Board of Regents as liaison between the State Board and the State Charter School Board, and on the UCAT Board of Trustees. For many years, she chairs the School and Instructional Trust Lands Nominating Committee, seeking experts in oil, gas, mining, and real estate who would build the permanent fund that sends trust lands dollars to every school in Utah. During her time in service, distributions to school grew from $8.3 million in 2004 to $45.8 million in 2015. Janet attended college in British Columbia at the University of Victoria and in France at the University of Toulouse-Bordeaux, and graduated with a master's degree in speech language pathology from the University of Utah. After working as a speech pathologist for 5 years, she obtained, oh my gosh, her certificate of clinical competency from the American Speech Language Hearing Association. Throughout her service spanning more than 2 decades, Janet has continually advocated for improvements within our system of public education. Her lifelong mission is to advocate for children. Your contribution has been significant, and we express our gratitude for a lifetime of dedicated service to Utah's children. Miss Janet, you have a couple of minutes?
Well, I was not going to tear up, but Laura ruined that. I have been so fortunate to have had the opportunity to serve with wonderful state board members who care so much about children in Utah. I just can't thank you enough for what you all do and your contributions, and what an honor it has been to serve with you. You know, Brenda Wellburn for years was the head of NASB, and she used to say, state board members are the nicest people in the world. And I have found that to be the absolute truth. I could not be anywhere to have an opportunity to serve with more kind, competent, expert people than with you all, and with our fabulous staff. Thank you so much.
I'm up. I guess I'm next. I get to have the opportunity to talk a little bit about our board member, Scott Hansen here. Scott L. Hansen, elected to the board in 2018. Scott Hansen grew up in Payson, Utah, and attended Utah Public Schools. He earned a bachelor's degree in design engineering technology from BYU and a master's of business administration degree from USU. Scott worked for over 20 years in the automotive safety products industry in various engineering, project management, and executive management capacities, including 10 years living and working in Japan and Thailand. He was awarded a Juris Doctorate degree. Did I say it correctly? Degree from BYU's J. Reuben Clark Law School, and is now enjoying a second career as an attorney in private practice. He has served on several boards, including the Weber School Board and the Ogden-Weber Community Action Partnership Board of Trustees. He volunteers time to church and community and loves being active outdoors year-round. He and his wife Heidi live in Ogden Valley and have 4 grown children who have been educated in a variety of school settings, both locally and internationally. Scott brings legal and business expertise and international perspective and years of problem-solving experience to the board. Scott's work as a chairman of the Standard and Assessment Committee has provided him with many hours of steadying the boat as they have explored numerous hot-button topics in recent years. It seems the work of the Standards and Assessment is never done, and Scott has found the energy and commitment to keep pressing forward until the task is completed. We have appreciated Scott's thoughtful and honest approach to crucial conversations. Thank you, Scott, for tireless efforts to keep our focus on what's best for Utah's children and educators. Thank you, Scott.
I got to say my piece this morning, so it's been an honor to work with all of you, board members, staff, and all the other people who've contributed both behind the scenes and in other ways. I value the relationships and friendships that I've formed here over the last 4 years. We've had a lot of difficult experiences and gone through a lot of things that I don't think any of us anticipated, and I just appreciate the camaraderie and hope that we can extend those relationships into the future. Thanks.
Stacy Hutchings. I have to scoot over here so I can see you. And I just want to say thank you to the people who put all of this together, put these wonderful pieces of writing together and gifts, and thank you to them also. Stacy was appointed in May of 2021 and has not hesitated to bring her wisdom and experience to the table in the 18 months she has served on the board. Stacy Hutchings is a third-generation teacher who has taught history and Spanish. Stacy earned her teaching degree at Brigham Young University, a Master of Educational Studies from the University of Utah, and a Master of Educational Leadership from Western Governors University. Stacy has taught at Kearns Junior High, Riverton High School, and later was a founding teacher at Utah Virtual Academy, where she became the head of school for 5 years. Currently, she's the director and principal of Career Path High School, which focuses on personalized learning as a blended, competency-based model located on the campus of Davis Technology College. Stacy served previously as a member of the Career Path High Board of Directors, Utah Association of Public Charter School Board, Salt Lake County Library Board, and member and chair of the Kearns Town Council. She is an alum of the American Council of Young Political Leaders, where she received the Presidential Service Award. Stacy is an active member of her faith, including having served an LDS mission in, how do you say it? Malaga, Spain. Her valuable insights as a teacher, administrator, and mom have informed many discussions. And I would say it was fun to see her with her husband and kids out in the hall. We went out and snapped a picture by the seal, and just to watch her kids from this angle back there in the back, and then, seeing them out in the hall, you can tell they're so proud of their mom, and rightly so. Her ability to express her thoughts with clarity and authenticity is a quality that she brought to our deliberations, and she will be missed. Thank you, Stacy, for diving in and making a difference right from the start with your service on committees and special assignments, including your input on the accountability redesign. You are leaving some mighty big shoes to fill.
Should really let us speak before. I've said, and I still feel that the time I've had on this board has been an honor of a lifetime. It's something I never really aspired for, but am grateful for this opportunity that will direct the rest of my life and the things that I do. It's interesting because I've worked with USBE as a school leader for many, many years. And many times when you get up close and personal, you find you're disappointed or you see the flaws. And my experience here has been the opposite. I have been even more impressed with the professionalism of USBE staff and their willingness and desire to support the board and to support the schools in Utah. I've been more and more impressed with the leadership that we have in Superintendent Dixon and the warrior spirit that she has and the passion that she has to make sure every Utah student learns. And as board members, each of you, I have learned from each of you. I am a better person and a better educator and professional because of each of you. And your passion and dedication and hard work and fight for the students of Utah, for the teachers of Utah, the schools in this state is impressive. And I will forever be grateful for this opportunity. And of course, I need to express my gratitude to my family for their support, because as we know, you don't do things like this without the support and sacrifice of your family. So thank you.
Next, right? Hey, here we go. Laura Belknap. Laura has dedicated 10 years to Utah State Board of Education, having served as a governor-appointed member of the board in 2012 through 14. Before her election in 2014, let me restate that. Laura has dedicated 10 years to the Utah State Board of Education, having served as a governor-appointed member of the board in 2012 through 2014. Before her election in 2014. She is now completing her 2 terms with the board. You guys got that figured out? A long time ago, there was governor-appointed non-voting members. Okay. Laura received her degrees from Utah State University and Western Governors University. She taught school in Logan, Utah, and Loveland, Colorado, where she was part of the state's math advisory committee and established a school-wide program grouping students by ability, not age. Laura is currently the director of Utah Online Schools, where which serves over 10,000 students with 100 teachers and staff. She has served on several nonprofit boards involving athletics, technology, and the Utah State Charter Board. She received the Soccer Mom of the Nation Award, and she received Innovation in Education Award and Utah Champions of Schools Choice Award for leadership and support for public schools. In 2018, she received the first John M. Huntsman Award for Innovation in Education. She was appointed to the State Charter School Board by Governor Gary Herbert in 2010 and subsequently served on Utah's Board of Regents and on the Board of Trustees for the Utah High School Activity Association. Laura and her high school sweetheart, Dr. Eric Belknap, are the proud parents of 6 children who were raised in Davis County and are the grandparents of 11 and a half amazing grandchildren. I didn't know you had a half in there. Miss Laura was on the committee chair developed Utah's. Miss Laura was on the committee's, wasn't it? You were the vice chair. No, she was on the committee. It says chair developed Utah's portrait of the graduate as vice chair. She has provided seasoned leadership. She is well known for respecting others' time as she effectively conducts the business of the board. I'm not certain if we can begin and end on time without her. She is a dear friend and a sensitive collaborator, fighting for what's best for Utah's children. Laura, your kindness and your tireless efforts to work until the work is finished will be missed. Thank you for a remarkable decade of service. Thank you, Laura.
I'm with you, Steve. I won't take too long because my most important titles are wife, mother, and grandmother. Those are the 3 most important titles I have, but the other one is an educator. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for Governor Herbert, who took a chance on somebody who was just out there and didn't really know what they were doing and appointed me to the charter board, which brought me into this building. I appreciate that. I'm grateful to the people of South Davis County and Rose Park who elected me and the opportunity I've had to serve here. I'm grateful for the staff here at USBE. It's weird to call them staff because they become friends. I'm grateful for my fellow board members in this room and those who were here before you, who have trained me and taught me well. I'm grateful for my 2 leadership partners who have guided me and helped me not to overstep my boundaries. I'm mostly thankful to my family, especially to my husband, and to my children who have allowed me to serve and taken up the reins at home. Isn't it strange that princes and kings and clowns that caper in sawdust rings and common folk like you and me are builders for eternity? Each is given a set of tools, a shapeless mass, and a book of rules, and each must make ere life is flown a stumbling block or a stepping stone. I hope we continue to take stepping stones. I love you. Thank you. Okay. Oh. My friend Mark Huntsman was elected in 2000. Okay, my friend Mark Huntsman was elected in 2014 and now completing his 2nd term. Mark has dedicated 8 years to the Utah Board of Education as board chair for 6 years. Oh my word, 6 years. His commitment to the board, the work of the board, has been influenced by his strong work ethic. He is always the first to pull into the USBE parking lot, leaving his home at a very early hour to travel 144 miles to be here, setting a high mark for the rest of us to follow. Throughout his effective term, in board leadership, Mark's focus on transparency and best practice have ensured that each board member's voice has been heard. Mark has lived for the past 42 years in Fillmore. He is employed as the CEO president at Sunrise Engineering, Inc., where he has also worked as a regional manager and a vice president. In his 30 years there, the company has grown from 14 employees to being a regionally multidisciplinary firm with over 400 employees and 22 offices in Wyoming, Arizona, Nevada, and Utah. Mark served from 2004 to 2012 on the Millard School Board. He is also the team lead of 8 Sunrise reading coaches for Fillmore Elementary. Additionally, Mark volunteers as a special deputy with the Millard County Sheriff's Office and Rescue Team. Mark attended Southern Utah University and has been trained in US DOT regulation compliance for gas pipeline operations. He is involved with the Intermountain Municipal Gas Association and the Board of Directors for National Association of Gas Consumers. Mark enjoys gardening, ranching, teaching youth to ride horses and works cows, outdoor recreation, and spending time with family and friends. As Mark now sets aside his gavel, I just had to do that, and the countless hours of meetings, legislative sessions, and worries, he and his beautiful wife, Brenda, look forward to more time with their 3 married children and 14 grandchildren. And on the reader's note here, I personally can't thank Mark enough for his mentorship and his friendship to me. We wish you well, Mark, and express our deepest gratitude for a job well done.
That's good. I promise to be brief here. You know, it was quite a few years ago, 9 or so. It seems like a lot longer than that. I had a visitor come to say, "Hey, do you want to be? Would you be willing to serve on the State Board of Education?" And back at the time, the governor appointed seats, different seats, and they mentioned that the governor had some say in it, so I thought it was one of these appointed seats, and I visited with my wife, and this is after 8 years on a local board that I really enjoyed, and they said, "Yeah, it's only really a day. You have a little bit of an evening and 1 day a month." And so after visiting with my wife, I said yes. And then later I found out, I've got an interview coming up, and went and was interviewed by Governor Herbert, and then he said, "Okay, now we'll let you know if you're going to be on the ballot for an election." I'm going, "What?" I thought maybe this was an appointed position. Like, an election? And it seemed like it started there, and I really appreciate the support I got from the constituents as I ran. But that 1 day a month, and the evening before, I don't know where they got that from. I don't know about you guys. A good selling point, but I guess getting into it, to make a long story short, after getting on the board, there's been a lot of changes. You know, this ship, my ship, as it sailed out, it's a big ship. It's right now there's with how many employees do we have right here in this building? 200 and something employees, but what is it?
Over 300.
Over 300 employees here at USDB, but there's over 100,000 people that make career choices that are serving our children in public ed. These are licensed and classified employees. They're on that ship. There's right under 700,000 students are on that ship. And I have been, and I've served with many board members. I was trying to remember and do a count. And I thought, I don't need to count them. I just know their faces. I know their personalities. They're just really awesome people from the past, clear up to the present. And they've all been on this ship. And we've had good waters, and we've had some trouble, scary waters through COVID and lots of challenges that are outside that. But the ship has sailed well, and it's this ship is a lot different than what I see in adjacent states that I have employees that work there. This state is awesome. Now, are we perfect? We're pretty close, I think. I mean, we try to get there with the betterments that we move forward. But it has been a privilege and an honor to be to work for you, the board, because that's what the chair is to do. And as a chair, and I've said this to other people and a lot of new people that are going to be joining the board, when you're a chair or in your leadership, you really can't have an agenda. Your agenda is the work of the will of the board. And so you have to check that. You still have an opportunity on some things to dive in if it's something you're super passionate about. But I have zero regrets, and it's been an honor and a privilege to be a part of this ship as we've been sailing here, moving forward and bringing these betterments forward. And so I want to thank you for your good work. I want to recognize the USBE staff, and there's USDB also. We're the governing board for them. That they're just awesome people. I've got to know you, and it's hard to say goodbye, but it's more of a see you later as we're moving forward. My parting words, though, there's a Superintendent Dixon, bless her heart. I was fortunate enough to be on the selection committee. I don't know if you remember that. And it was tough. We had some tough stuff back in its day, and it was my privilege to make a recommendation to this board years ago through the committee. I was representing the committee, of course, but I was the voice of that committee to bring you on. And I don't have any regrets, and to this direct staff that we have, Deputy Superintendent Scott Jones and Miss Lorraine back here. You know, there's a lot of you. I'm not going to mention a lot of names, but I know of your passion. I know of your commitment to public ed, and it's very unique. And I hope moving forward, this board, those that are moving on, and then the new ones that are coming on, will continue to have a regard and a respect for each other. And that's one thing I've always asked for as your chair, that you do that. And I have to say, you guys have been awesome in that. A lot of people say it's how do you work with a 15-member board? And it's because you guys have a regard and respect for each other. You don't always have to disagree or agree on things, but thank you for having that, and hopefully that continues in that space. I want to recognize also the vice chairs that I've been able to work with this past 2 years. I'm not the easiest person to work with or work for. My wife can speak to that, but she's not here to speak to it, so that's probably a good thing. But they've been very patient, but they have served you well and has done a lot of work behind the scenes to support the work of the board and the will of the board as we're moving forward. So thank you. You guys are awesome, and I'm very proud of myself. I thought I'd be an emotional wreck and I'd be crying, but I'm excited too. I'm excited for the future of public ed, and I have faith in where Utah is going and moving forward. I'm excited for this next legislative session with a lot of money. So hopefully you guys are on top of that really, really well. That's going to benefit our kiddos and our educators moving forward. I want to end with a quote. I'll probably screw it up. And I got this from just as on the side, in a conference with Superintendent Dixon, and you guys have heard me say this, but I hope you just burn it in your brain moving forward. And it's about a ship, about a sailing ship. And one thing that I like about sailing ships is the sailing ship moves depending on what opportunity it has, with the wind. And I don't know if you guys have ever been on one or been able to slightly control one, but it's a different feeling. But it takes work and it takes commitment and focus. And it takes choices and decisions to put wind in your sails. But this quote is from William Ward, did I get it right? And it talks about three kinds of people. There's the pessimist that complains about the wind. And then there's the optimist that expects it to change. And then there's the realist. Then there's the realist that adjusts the sails. This group and the people that I've worked with, are realists. So I hope you continue to be realists in this and adjust your sails to make sure you have a lot of wind, as much wind as you possibly can, to move this ship forward and bring in betterments to the children and to the education community. It's been a privilege to serve with you. There's probably a lot of thank yous that I'm missing, but I just want to say that again, that thank you for your service and your commission or your commitment and the passion that you have. And these are not goodbyes; they're see you later. And to you board members that are moving forward and the new ones that are listening on to here, I have faith in you. And I'm excited. So thank you. That's all I've got. Thank you.
So board members, we will consider this board meeting adjourned. Thank you.